It really makes me wonder.
Makes me wonder too. I'm wondering if you were wondering about the same thing I'm wondering about. I like your lips.
I'm wondering why more people don't know about the benefits of sweating.
What's so good about sweating? It's nasty. It stinks.
With a little ventilation, the smell isn't really a problem.
I'm thinking maybe you just enjoy being half naked. No complaints from me. I just come for the socializing. Nice to scope out the scenery and imagine the possibilities, like maybe a three-way. I should have thought of this sooner.
You might want to consider wearing some appropriate attire when you're in here. You look a little out of place.
You got that right. This one may not be dealing entirely with a full deck. And his head is a bit too big for his body.
I'm just shy. Like to keep my clothes on. But it looks like I'm not the only one not dressed right. Didn't know I was going to the ballet. Maybe Miss Ballerina is going to do some dancing.
Okay, so I quit smoking and stopped putting other harmful substances in my body. I've been sweating for a year or so now. You would think that would be enough to get all the harmful toxins out of my body. So why do I keep sweating several times per week?
Well, you still eat, don't you?
And a lot of what you eat has salt in it, right? We all like salty stuff.
Yes, I suppose you're right. And we hear all the time about how we should eat less salt.
But so many of the things we like to eat have a lot of salt. It's hard to get away from the salt. As well as all of those nasty street drugs that you use so much.
And you get rid of salt when you sweat, right? Not to mention the residue from harmful drugs like cocaine, weed, and all the other junk I enjoy so much.
Wow. Guess I never really thought of that. Yes, that's it. I keep sweating to reduce the amount of salt in my body. How delightful.
So I suppose it's worth putting up with a little stink and some perverted bloke with a big head to get rid of some of the salt and be healthier.
Makes sense to me. We sweat when we exercise, but not this much. Maybe I will take my clothes off. They're getting sweaty. And maybe Miss Ballerina here would like to do the same thing.
In your dreams, Mr. Nasty and Salty Pervert. I'm good.
This is wonderful. Who knew I could learn so much from meeting a couple of strange dingbat cartoon characters in the sauna? In case you just tuned in, I'll bring you up to date. I do a little sweating a few times per week, which helps keep toxins out of my body and keeps my salt level lower. Sometimes I meet some interesting characters when I'm here. Some of them are, well, I guess you could say, a little weird. You two are different. Where is your gym clothing?
I don't know about Tinkerbell here, but I'm not staying. Just came in to get warm. Having chills. Maybe a little case of malaria. Who knows? Going to step out in a minute and have a smoke.
Great. Just what we need. A walking bucket of filthy infection and stinky disease. May as well share it with everybody else. I'm not staying either. Going back to my dance class in a few minutes. And I hope I haven't caught anything from you.
I used to smoke. So glad I quit. I found that sweating helped reduce the urge to smoke.
Me too. It's a filthy, nasty habit. It's so terrible.
I got something both of you can smoke, and it's perfectly legal, and even healthy, I think.
Oh good lord. He's not just a bucket of disease, he's a perverted bucket of disease.
You're really disgusting, yuck.
You should stop smoking. It's so expensive, such a waste of money.
We can thank Clinton for that. Raising the taxes on cigs like he did. That useless little prick. If you can't do anything except get extra sex while in the White House, may as well punish those damned smokers.
President Obama quit smoking?
Right. Do tell. And now he wants to increase the taxes on cigs too. Another useless little prick. He's another one that wants to punish the smokers.
So, sweating reduces the urges to smoke. Interesting. Wonder if it also reduces the urges to smoke pot, snort coke, use crack and be a useless pervert.
I'm sure it does. In fact, a lot of rehab facilities use sweating as a big part of the therapy for their patients.
So you're saying if I do some sweating, I could maybe more easily get away from some of my favorite things, like cigs, coke, pot and even crack and all my hookers?
You have nothing at all to lose by trying. You might just go from being a useless bucket of perverted infection and disease, to being a normal person.
It certainly worked for me. I really don't miss all the things like that dry skin, and the itching, not sleeping good, and a long list of things that were symptoms of my smoking.
Wow. And I thought I was doing so well. Okay. If it helped Goody Two Shoes here change from a useless bucket of hopeless infection and disease, maybe it will work for me as well. Maybe I'll try this sweating thing. Who knows? Maybe I could do better without all the junk in my system. Thanks.
I'm sure you will be doing the right thing. It will also be setting a better example for people who know you.
Nice and warm in here today. Must be about 150.
Yes. I'm working up a nice sweat. Feels good.
Wonder why some of those enormous lardasses out there are not here. You'd think they would need this. We could use a few more pounds. A little more meat on our bones. But if we were big lardasses like them, this sweating would be even better.
Hey, watch who you're calling a lard ass. You're not perfect either. Maybe they feel they will lose the weight faster by pumping a lot of iron.
That's a lot of iron they will have to pump to get rid of all that whale blubber. Can you imagine how much you would have to work out to lose a few £100? It would take forever.
Actually, it's a myth.
What do you mean by myth?
You can lose a little weight by exercising. But he's right. It would take forever. It's mostly diet.
So those heavy ones are pretty much wasting their time with all that abusive exercising.
Yes. I'm afraid that's true.
Wow. If I was one of those 900-pound lardasses, I hope somebody would tell me about the diet thing. That's a lot of working out for nothing.
They will lose some weight by working out. But not nearly as much as they would if they eat right and eat a lot less. Eating a lot less, even to the point of being a little hungry most of the time, does a lot.
She's right. I used to be one of those 900-pounders. It was difficult to get through the door. I had to do something. And since you mentioned it, it's true. The exercise didn't do much. Then I started eating a lot less. And ate more fruit and vegetables.
Gee whiz. Hard to believe such a tiny little thing like you was one of those 900-pound lardasses. How was it? A couple chickens and a great big ham for breakfast. I'll bet those all-you-can-eat for $100 places were a lot of fun. Were you able to get out of your house okay?
Try being a little more respectful, Mr. Garbage Mouth. You do seem to be in love with yourself. And with the term lard asses. Those Biggest Loser TV shows are pathetic. The way they treat the fat people is despicable. They badger them and punish them physically for being fat. And all of it is just to make money. If they lose the weight, it's like she says, mostly because of the dieting.
Yes. That's terrible. They shouldn't be mean to them like that.
Yes. I suppose you're right. Trying to beat the fat off them like that isn't really very nice at all. But it sure is fun to watch.
No, it's not. The dieting is a much better way to go. And much less humiliating.
I don't know about the two of you. But I'm going to try to stay skinny. I don't want people trying to beat the fat off of me. Even if I'm getting paid for it.
Hello, doctor. How are you today?
I'm fine. And how are you?
It looks like you have a busy day today.
About average. A normal number of patients, I suppose. But it's difficult getting to them all. The drug companies take a lot of my time. Okay, I'll be honest. Today I have one patient, which is you, and about 10 drug salesmen to see. They always have such cool new drugs to tell me about.
Yes, I suppose the drug companies have a lot of new drugs for you to give to the patients. I like your new office. And you have nice hair. Unfortunately, I'm wearing a wig because I'm bald.
Well, thank you. I'm sure it will work out just fine. With enough drugs, anything is possible. Maybe you will even be able to grow some real hair.
The certifications hanging on the wall look good. I'm sure they make the patients feel comfortable.
Yes, I suppose they do. Just because the patients are taking dozens of drugs, doesn't mean they shouldn't have something comforting to read while they are so loaded and completely spaced out.
As a matter of fact, I'm taking a half a dozen drugs myself. Just because I'm bald, feel a little dizzy, disoriented, anemic and stagger around a lot, it doesn't mean they are not good drugs. Do you have some new drugs I could try? Or maybe I should look into my diet and maybe some exercise.
Of course. May as well load you up. She's such a hopeless junkie already. What harm could a few more drugs do? Don't worry about your diet. You're not fat. Exercise, diet, vitamins and nutrition are for numbskulls. More drugs are what you need. I'll just write another prescription for you. And I hope you can afford them.
Oh, that's right. Damn it. My mind is so toasted from the drugs. I forget how much they cost. The people at the drug companies must have some really cool parties and orgies on some big fancy boats, with all the money they make from me. Oh well, I'll just have to sell my house or something. There's just no way I can do without those cool new drugs.
Don't blame me, I'm just an innocent middleman. Having a place to live, exercise and eating healthy food are so overrated. I guess some poor fools must stagger around like mindless victims and go broke, so others may have their lavish parties and orgies. It's just the way the system works.